Hey guys, out here with a new series for TPE, doing something pretty different. Doing a live play series, and I'm playing cash games. However, the cash games do have 10% antes, so I think this will mirror deep stack early stage MTTs really well. Also, there's another goal of this series, which is really just all the ups and downs and like ins and outs of playing. I think there's mental game stuff. There's adjusting to how you're feeling, your levels of energy, how you're playing, getting reads on your opponent, and training while playing, playing with tilt, stuff like that. So hopefully all those things kind of come up in the sessions, and we can talk about them as they come. And yeah, kind of go for it from there. So I think this guy's a poster, or no, he limped. I'm just gonna do like a tiny ISO. And yeah, hopefully we get some more tables going. And that be a clear fold. Um, so right now I'm kind of just, yeah, this is just a pretty bad board. I'm just gonna check. I think that's just pretty clear. I can think about what would happen if they both check back, like what their ranges are. That kind of helps me gain some time to make good decisions. But, yep, he potted there, so that's pretty weird. And then he snap checks a pretty bad turn. Snap check calls, so maybe a queen with a club or two pair, even a set. Um, Most likely queen jack offsuit would be my guess. Queen 10's a pretty big punt, and yeah, that's not very good. Yeah, he didn't even consider folding. I'm not super confident in this note, so I kind of do a number system. So like 1 through 10, how confident I am in my read, but like pretty darn confident. I can 3-bet or call this. I have a randomizer, so I rolled low, which usually means I take the passive action. Hopefully we get some more tables. Just one more table would be ideal. Just waiting for one more table to open up. I'm on the wait list. So he checks back. It's usually ace highs and things like that. I'm trying to think what's the easiest way for me to navigate this. Like, can I bet and freeze him up with his ace highs? Not really, and then I open myself up to this guy who can have 3x and king x, so yeah. I would like to bet if I can just bet and then nobody bluffs me type of thing. That would be nice, but I don't think that's happening because this isn't a fun spot. Um, I do think I should be calling, but it's like, hey, my hand's pretty face up. I guess I have a bunch of king x here um, that I can defend, but I think to him my range is just going to look like a whole lot of 5x and 6s, 7s, 8s, so making it pretty easy for him to bluff me. Wow, gives up that river. That's pretty passive. So kind of just keeping that in mind. So what can I learn from that? Because I think he has a clear bluff, especially on that river, because the queen basically never hits me, right? I don't have ace queen, I don't have queen jack. He can have those hands easily. He could have pocket queens. I guess he can't have that hand. But it's basically a brick and an overcard to most of my range. So what can I say about that other than just be more inclined to fold more inclined to call turns like this? Let's see what happened that hand. Oh, we didn't get to see showdown? Or did we? Hold on. So he has Jack 10. Okay, we got another table. Booyah. That'll be a call. Pretty bad board. Yep, not gonna defend. I'll open that. Yeah, I do want to talk about getting reads on your opponents. I think it can feel like a pretty big waste of time very easily. Okay. This guy is a recreational player, makes a lot of mistakes, this Govo guy. I don't recall what they are, I just know that he makes them. So kind of a weakness in my game right there. Uh, my hand is just kind of garbage for betting, right? No diamond, no backdoors, nothing. Okay, so if this checks through, how can I win the pot? Okay. Well, we can just win by showdown. He's a big blind defender. I don't think he'll bluff river. I think he just checks. I think he could value bet that hand, get called by king highs pretty comfortably. Let's see what happened here. Pocket kings. More interested in that hand, how we played kings. So yeah, a lot of times you watch the hands go down and stuff and you don't get any value out of it. However, the times that you do really make it worth it, and it helps you stay engaged with the game, which I think is really important. So he played check call twice, which seems pretty darn reasonable to me. I don't want to 3-bet get this in, readless. Yeah, I think it's a GTO 3-bet get it in, maybe low frequency call. But I don't really have a good idea of his 4-bet ranges, and they're a bit different in cash games. Like, people are less aware of what needs to be jammed and all that. Yeah, interesting that he'll like even take pocket kings here in check. I think. Yeah, I just bet range, min bet on these boards. Really hard to defend appropriately still. Until he shows the capability to float really wide, check raise a ton, I'm not going to give him the credit or the respect or whatever. Yeah, we'll check this back. That is a pretty interesting spot for me. I think I will bet. So he has a lot of king highs, queen highs, jack highs, even in under pairs that are just in a pretty tough spot. He didn't check raise, so hopefully he doesn't have ace-x. Okay. That's a good card for him if he's peeling 3x, which I don't think that he does. I think I still get the value bet. I block ace queen, I block ace 10. If I can get his under pairs to fold, I think it's a pretty close spot. I don't know how many ace-x he has. Probably a huge amount. I think given the amount of ace-x that he can have, I don't think I should be betting unless I'm trying to get an ace-x to fold. And do I want to do that is the question. Do I want to try and make an ace fold? I think that's very ambitious. But I'll pass. I think too much of his range is an ace. You could just have ace deuce off. Ooh, check call flop with trips. I think that's worth noting. I like that play. I think he should check call with weaker ace x actually. Fold that. I don't think it's good enough. Yeah, so what are my adjustments to this guy? What does that mean? So next time he does check raise a board like this, I think he's more weighted towards pocket pairs and stuff, because ace 8, like if you want to slow play at 8, you do it with your weaker kickers. I think, at least. Doing it with ace 8 doesn't really seem ideal to me. Because like you do it with a weaker kicker, it protects you when your opponent has a better 8, and getting all the money in with just an 8 might win a weak kicker isn't necessarily a great idea. So this guy checks back. He could have some aces and kings if he understands the spot, but I'm not really giving him credit for that. I think he's just supposed to bet range on a 7-4 deuce, so that's kind of weak. Yeah, that's a bit weak in my opinion. I think that's a bet range type of board, and I'm going to be more inclined to kind of attack him in situations like that. But it's also worth noting that 7-4 deuce is like, I think that's a pretty high C bet. And next time he does bet similar types of boards, giving him a bit more credit. You know, like maybe Queen Jack of Hearts isn't in that range, or King 9 of Hearts type of hands. You know, hearts and diamonds type of things. Just not making it into that range. Or maybe he just folds ace high and had just ace king ace queen, which is fairly reasonable check. So yeah, I guess we'll focus on getting the reads, making adjustments, how to get the most value out of what's going on. So this guy raised, check back 10-8-6. He bets out, snap checks, so calls with the 10-5 out of the small blind. And this turn bet is pretty interesting. So what does it mean? So we'll watch the hand play out, and I'll pause. Whoa, he made it 53. That's cool. Okay, so he cold calls, right? And check, check, flop, turns a king. So what does it mean when he bets types of hands like this? Well, think about the inverse. Like, what does it mean for his check range if he's leading out hands like this? It kind of weakens it. So if he's the type that kind of just wants to bet to protect, and he's potentially just weakening his check range by not having any tens that can call. So we could, be more inclined to delay c-bet in a spot like this in the future. And just putting more hands like this in his range, unpredictable types of hands. But, yeah, good river check though. Don't know what happened here. He half pot the turn. Double half pot. Yeah, I think we can low frequency 3-bet this, and I will get it in there. I like it a bit more when the small blind cold calls. He should be folding quite a bit. And yeah, you could spend this time thinking about what his call range might look like, and that way you're saving time, the effort that you need to do on the flop, because you only get so much time. And yeah, I'll play a bet range strategy. I can get away with pretty small. I think this gets out a lot of the underpairs, but like fives, threes, deuces can still be in there. King jack off, jack 10 suited, king 10 suited. Definitely hands that can be in there. This guy seems to be putting in lots of bets. And I guess that's not too surprising if he's just betting stuff like 10-5 on boards where he shouldn't. And let's check out that hand. We get to see both cards at Showdown. It is really likely that we spend this whole video and I spent this entire time looking at these hands and then I don't make any adjustments based off of it. Yet, I still think this is valuable work to do. Um, let's play this hand. Yeah, it's kind of interesting if he checks. He just seems to be betting a lot. Like, if he has a pair, he just wants to bet. But we'll see. I think we're getting a decent feel for maybe his game, but it's too early to tell. Not sure what can snap check there. Pocket threes, value betting river. I don't even like, okay, again, he just has like a pair with a heart and just doesn't find a check. Bets the river, which I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what he's doing there. Yeah, he took a hand that just has clear showdown value, right? Easily beats miss flush draws, and then he just bets it. So he checks. We have a pretty clear bet. I don't like checking. I think it's lame. So check call range. Ah, check. God damn. God damn. Pot size check raise. It's really lame. I don't even want to call this. I'm just folding. The problems I have with it is how big the raise is. I think how strong he is and how likely I am to face a turn bet. There being a flush draw out there and my spade outs not being good. A king not being the nuts either. And the king not being the nuts isn't the hugest factor for me. But yeah, the strength, the likelihood I'm going to face another bet, the the turn, yeah, the sizing, the odds I'm being laid. I wasn't really a fan of calling there. And yeah, I think in theory that's why you might check that hand back a fair bit. But I really didn't want to. I would have brick though, so great play. Great play. We'll call versus him. It's a bit loose, but in fact, maybe you should fold more. He's kind of very aggressive. I would have bet a lot on a blank, because I think we would have implemented our read of him just betting pairs a lot, but the ace is just too good for him. I'm gonna fold queen 8, I'm not too sure. Yeah, the way you beat people who used all their good stuff and put it into the bet range is like you just get them when they check. It's very hard when they bet and it's very annoying. But when they check, they kind of just give you the green light to easily beat them. You know, with very tiny bets, and you really don't even have to do much. It's very simple. Um, yeah, not so good, but there is deuce 3, 5 deuce, stuff like that, and very tempting for him to bluff this card. So that's like 48 combos. Okay, so yeah, if he didn't want to bluff the turn, he's not going to want to bluff the river, so let's hope he just has like a king we could show down with, or he just doesn't want to bet a 5 deuce or something. But yeah, 4 makes the most sense. A king makes a lot of sense. Right, so as I was saying, a lot of the times the digging I'm doing on what people have won't lead to anything, at least not today. But over time, you get better and better at getting reads. You get a read for the flow. Like, it forces you to watch the game, get a read for the flow of people's game, what it feels like, and stuff like that. And yeah, keeping you involved. It's too easy for your mind to wander and get lost, and then it's really hard to turn it on if you're not finding something to pay attention to. So this keeps you involved, keeps you thinking, and it gets you reps and hand reading and understanding and breaking down people's strategies on how to beat them. It's can be fun to think about. So we gotta check back on 10-4-3. We can 3-bet or call this hand. I'm gonna 3-bet really often. This hand makes it into cold 4-bet range, in my opinion. And so we will cold 4-bet. I think it's 100% cold 4-bet, really darn close. I'm gonna go for it. So what's his call range, right? Spend this time using it. What can he call with? Well, aces can call, ace queen, off, ace jack suited broadways, sevens through jacks can definitely be hands. Um, Queens and kings probably jam. He probably doesn't have ace king or king queen offsuit. Fives and threes are pretty unlikely. So this board ends up actually being pretty juicy for us. And yeah, his call range will still have a bunch of sevens through jacks, and good luck defending those. Sometimes he has aces, sometimes he has the odd ace king, sometimes he has king queen suited, but we're probably just gonna kind of light him up here. Yeah, really hard to defend. We will do this and just be like, hey, can you call with your sevens through jacks enough to make this bet not profitable? And I think the answer is no. Because he's also gonna have ace queen offsuit. So yeah, if I just get ace queen off, some of the pairs to fold, I'm in pretty good shape. Once he calls, too many king jacks, king queen suited, king jack suited, pocket aces. Uh, and I think we got out a lot of those pairs to where I don't like bluffing the river, especially with that combo. So here's a good example. I could have not done that pre-flop work. If I didn't spend that time thinking about what his call range is, this flop is not so easy for me. Now I have to like take in the board, what's his range, what's my range, blah blah blah. And you need that extra time. Fuck, I'm gonna fucking I want to back jam. God damn it. Oh, get out of there. Yeah, so use that extra time in between hands to work on the ranges. And what's great about this is that as you get thousands of reps, tens of thousands of reps with ranging people, eventually you don't have to do that. You don't have to think about what's his range because you've done it a million times. You know what his range is, and you can think about other things. Uh, but yeah, do the work if you have the energy. This is more of like a high energy type of session, so I'm able to put more towards that, and we'll talk about low energy type of sessions and navigating these. But this is a high energy type of approach, which is great. But the reality is when you're playing MTTs and stuff, you're playing for 8 hours, 10 hours. There's gonna be lulls, especially in the middle, where you're bored and you're disinterested, and that requires like a different type of navigation. This guy's never bluffing, by the way. Nobody ever bluffs here. Like, he shouldn't be tank calling anything. If he has a tank call, it's a bad call. Nobody bluffs this way. I don't know what's going on here. If this is legitimate. Like, everything says 20 cents here, so I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna check. I don't know if the pot's 60 cents or what the fuck's going on. It's a new kind of bug on the site. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Um, right, so yeah, when you have the energy to do so, being able to dig, keeping yourself in the game is this type of approach I think is definitely will actually keep your energy going for longer, keep you engaged, and improve your game. When you play like this, this is study, right? You're getting better while you play. But sometimes you're just not in the position to do that, and it's going to be kind of fun to talk about navigating that. And I think in the next session, I'll kind of just pretend as if my energy is pretty low and navigate that way. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, uh, but yeah, we'll try and navigate that. Yeah, it playing like MTTs isn't about necessarily just always bringing your A game. I mean, in a perfect world, you can do that, and I think some players can, and I feel like that's like fucking superhuman. Maybe I'm just old and out of shape now, but uh, what I really like is showing up, starting my session if I can, trying to play like the highest quality I can. The middle is kind of like a jumble of like mixed bag of whatever. Because, maybe the session's going well or really poorly, or maybe you're in the zone, or maybe you're totally fucking dejected and tilted, or maybe whatever. The middle is kind of like the mixed bag, and the end game is like where I want to turn it on. So early, starting off on like my best foot forward, end game, best, being able to fucking turn it on, get in the zone. The middle is kind of where you get a whole bunch of that other stuff. Um, yeah, I guess sometimes it's even hard to kind of start on your A game. But yeah, there's strategies and skills and approaches for navigating those. And that's something I've been learning and executing, and I think it's quite valuable. Let's see if I get a third 1-2 table. I don't want to play 51. So I think this guy 3-bet and c-bet. That would be my guess. I doubt he cold called. A6. I think we can cold call versus him. He c-bet and then check there. That's a pretty big bet. Well, I guess we'll play our hand. If he checks back, we will attack. I'm not a huge fan. I think it's a reasonable float, but I don't think it works too well. Interesting check with the ace queen by that guy. So bad turn comes for his range, and he finds a check with a big hand, so that's kind of worth noting. You know, when he bets, maybe he's kind of a bit more polar, or maybe he's a bit weaker than he should be. You know, just throwing his bluffs into the bet. You know, so I'm curious how he's constructing there, but this is a little hint, right? He checks the turn. So the action went cutoff opens, he 3-bets, he calls, he c-bets flop fairly big, gets this turn, which helps in positions 5, 6, pocket 8, 7, 8. He finds a very reasonable check. So, yeah, we'll keep that in mind next time he checks, being a bit more careful on boards like this. Next time he bets, doing some discounting of his top end in a spot like this. And we'll call that a video after this hand, I guess. We'll do another 4 minutes. And yeah, I just play, like I said, I just play min-bet on most boards. It's so hard to defend appropriately, right? I'm risking 2 to win 10. I just need to fold like 20% of the time. Like, good luck defending fucking 10-6 offsuit and then still finding ways to defend, you know, 80% of the time. And this hand is actually really good. We block ace jack, we block ace 9, we don't. This is a cool, like, unblocker example. So I have a fun strategic hand, finally. Uh, we'll just do, like, that. So we don't block king queen, we don't block 6-7, we don't block 4-6, we don't block 4-7. So the unblockers of our hand are really nice, and then we don't block. We have 2 diamonds, so if he's gonna float flop, it's probably with 2 clubs, 2 spades, 2 hearts. So having the 2 diamonds is actually really juicy here. So our bluff combo is really nice, and we want to dig a bit deeper for bluffs because it's a good board for us. We have the ace X advantage. You know, he didn't 3-bet pre, he didn't check raise flop. We have ace 3, we have ace 5, we have ace jack, ace queen, ace king. We have pocket 5s, pocket 3s. So, yeah, it is a board where we really want to attack still. So, yeah, pretty excited about that hand. I like finding fun little bluffs like that because they're hard to see. Alright, we're going to end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. So yeah, part 2 we'll talk about playing on your B or C game type of thing.